Hey guys, this is Tyler with your Tech Tip Tuesday. We're going to show you how to set up a timing pointer on your LS engine. Motion Raceworks makes these different timing pointers, one for each balancer spacing. So this is your vet, that's your F body, and that's your truck. It just has a longer pointer for each one. So we have truck spacing, so we're going to get the truck pointer out. Here's our truck timing pointer. It bolts on. You just remove two of your timing chain cover bolts. The bottom two on your driver's side, and this bolts directly in place, and it's meant to work with an ATI balancer. In case you guys don't know, the reason we are installing a timing pointer is anytime you run an aftermarket ECU on an LS engine, you need to verify your timing. So what that consists of is putting our timing pointer on, and then we will use a piston stop, which we have here. We'll show you how to use this in a little bit. That will allow us to indicate our pointer to be on true top dead center. So once we have that, we can use a timing light on the engine and we can verify the timing in our ECU. So essentially what that means is if our ECU, if we program it to be 20 degrees of timing, just let's say 20 degrees, we want to use a timing light to make sure we're actually getting 20 degrees at the engine. So it's possible with an aftermarket ECU, it has no way to check that 0 point to see if it's actually correct. So we have to do it by hand with the timing pointer. In some cases, I've heard of people being, 5 degrees off of what it should be, and in a boosted motor, that could be a bad thing, or any motor really. So if we want 10 degrees at wide open, let's say, we're trying to be conservative, and it's actually 15 degrees, that's a huge difference. Like that could be blowing up your motor versus not blowing up your motor. So that's where this comes in handy. So we'll show you how to install this right now. So yeah, it's a pretty simple installation. It's in the position where an ATI balancer where its 0 point would be. You get, I think it's like roughly 4 or 5 degrees of adjustment each way to try and zero it. So if you can see, the pointer's slotted, so we can adjust our 0, and then once it's set, we lock it down, and then it's good as long as you don't remove the pointer. If you ever remove the pointer again, I would suggest probably re-zeroing it, because there is a little bit of adjustment. There's a little bit of slop in like the bolt holes, so it may not go exactly back in place every time. So just as a precaution, I would just re-zero it each time you have it off. We'll go ahead and zero this one out now. Our next step, we have to install this piston stop. So what that allows us to do is screw it in to your spark plug hole. So this part screws right in where your spark plug would. And then you screw this in. I usually screw it in almost all the way. And then you want to very lightly bring your piston up until it hits there. And then you rotate the motor over backwards so the piston goes down and comes back up. And at each time you're on the stop, you want to record the number that your timing pointer is pointing at. So once we do that real quick, then I'll show you how to do the math to figure out how to zero it out. So I usually just run the stop in just with a socket by hand. You don't really need to tighten it in or anything, as long as it's stable enough to stay in the correct position at all times. So it's just not moving around or anything. Whenever you're using a piston stop, it's a good idea to actually pull the rocker arms off your number 1 cylinder too, because the piston stop can actually go in and your intake valve will open and hit the piston stop, which will give you a false sense that the piston is hitting the piston stop. So you do not want to do that. I always just take both the rocker arms off in your number 1 cylinder before you go ahead and roll the motor over with the piston stop in it. Alright, so we decided to move out here to our mock-up motor. That way we don't have all the accessories in the way. It'll be a little easier to show you the process here. So what we're going to start by doing is we have our piston stop installed, and we'll roll it over from each direction until it hits the stop, and we'll record our numbers, and then we'll show you how to work the equation from there. So we'll roll it over from this direction till it hits the stop. Looks like we're at 24 degrees. Then you just roll it over backwards all the way until you hit your stop coming up to 0. You always want to be careful, because if you hit the stop too hard, you're likely to bend your stop. Okay, so that way we're at 330 degrees. Our first stop was 24 degrees. Our second was 330 degrees. So with our equation here, we add those together and then subtract 360. So these two added together would be 354 minus 360 would be -6. So we have -6, and we divide that by 2. So that would equal -3. So that is our total here, is -3. So this -3 tells us how far our pointer is off. What we'll do once we have our total number there, we'll take our piston stop out, we'll roll the engine over to -3, and if you have a negative number like we do here, that actually means that you want to go counterclockwise from 0. So on the engine, that will actually, our -3 will actually be 357. So we'll show you on the engine here, and then once you set it, in our case, to 357 to the pointer, then we re-zero our pointer to 0, and we'll be fully adjusted. Once we have our stop out, then we can roll this engine up to 357, which would be our -3. Now we just simply loosen the 2 timing pointer bolts. We readjust the pointer to 0. Now our pointer is when the piston is actually at top dead center. So just because we came up with -3 degrees, it doesn't mean that your timing or anything is actually off 3 degrees. It just means that with the amount of slop in the bolts and everything, our pointer wasn't bolted on at true 0. So this process is something that you should do anytime you're adding a pointer to an engine that never had a pointer before. Or if you've taken your pointer off and you're putting your pointer back on the engine, I would always suggest to go through this process again to verify that your pointer is accurate. So this process can also, it doesn't have to be used on an LS engine, or this case in particular. It can be used on anything that had either a timing pointer break off or never had a timing pointer to begin with and you're adding one. This process is the same for any engine. So now that our pointer is pointing at our true top dead center, we can take our aftermarket ECU, we'll verify the timing in that. So in order to do that, we usually lock the timing in the ECU to a set number. Like if you're at idle, I usually just use 20 degrees. So if I lock the timing in the ECU at 20 degrees and I get my timing light out, the balancer should be showing 20 degrees. If it isn't, that means you need to adjust your ECU for that variance in timing. If you ever hear anyone say verify timing, that's exactly what they're talking about, is setting a pointer and verifying that what your ECU is showing you on the screen for timing actually matches what you're getting at the engine. So if there's any variance there, we know now that our timing pointer, whatever we read with our timing light, is the correct timing. So if your ECU is showing you something different, that's actually a false number. So that number can come from any bit of like on the LS engines, it typically comes from your reluctor wheel being slightly off from the factory. So there's this is a way to correct for that. This equation here, we'll actually put this in the description below, and we'll also put this on the website in the description for the timing pointer. So if you ever need this equation, it'll be available for you, as well as the steps in order to set this. All right, so for the stock balancer, guys, I can give you a quick rundown. We don't have one installed on an engine right now, but it's actually even easier with a stock balancer to set up your timing pointer. With a stock balancer setup, I would just, you can bolt the timing pointer anywhere you want, and then with your balancer on, you would use your piston stop, just like we did with this engine, and rather than recording the number where it stops, because we don't have any numbers on a stock balancer, you're just going to put a mark on the balancer. So let's pretend we stopped there, and then when we rolled it over, we stopped there. We'd just mark our 2 stop points. And then on a stock balancer, the midway point between the 2 is your actual 0. We would probably use a tape measure or something, but for this we'll just make a quick line. So you can see, here's your 2 stop points, there's where 0 is. So 0 is always halfway between your 2 stop points. And once you have the middle, just mark it 0, and then you can either erase your other lines or then you at least know that that is your 0 point. It's really as simple as that with a stock balancer. And if you guys want, we can always do a more detailed video on stock balancer if you guys want to see the whole process later. Let us know in the comments. All right, so I know we jumped around a little bit here, but we wanted to make sure we had a good written equation for you, and we had really good lighting so you could actually see on the engine what we were doing. It's really as simple as that. We'll have the equation in the comments for you, or in the description for you. Just follow the process and you'll be on your way to setting your own timing.